Hey everyone, Allison Berger here. So when I was doing my research for my trip to the Galapagos Islands about what to pack, I couldn't find any videos from a woman's perspective on what I should bring. So I'm gonna do that for you so you don't make the same mistakes that I did when I was packing. Before we get started, everything I speak about in this video is linked below in the description, and you can find them in my Amazon shop or in my LTK shop. When you purchase through my links, it helps support me and this channel, so I really appreciate you using them. So thank you. Now let's get started. First, you should know that I visited the Galapagos Islands in mid-March. So depending on what time of the year you visit, these suggestions may vary. So please check what the weather should be like during your time of visit before you go. This unfortunately played a role in one of the mistakes I made because I brought way too many layers and jackets that were never used because it was hot. The only place that had mild weather and I needed a light jacket was when I was in Quito because the elevation is so high, so the whole time I was there it was around 60 degrees Fahrenheit. The next thing you need to know is that I went with Celebrity Cruises, and they provided me with a lot of the items that I didn't need to worry about bringing. One is a backpack. This was perfect and spacious and actually decent quality, and I used it every single day. They also gave us a water canister, which was easy to refill in my room. We were provided with ponchos, which thankfully I only needed to use twice. Now, in the room itself, they had sunscreen, a robe, and slippers for us to use. I actually really liked their sunscreen and used theirs instead of all of the sunscreen that I brought throughout the entire trip. A great perk that came with traveling with Celebrity Cruise is that they did my laundry twice on the trip. So that definitely helped limit the amount of items that I brought, even though somehow I missed bringing certain things, and we get into that later in this video. So with the laundry being done, I was able to rewear my dinner outfits without feeling like I needed 7 different evening outfits to wear. Also, Celebrity was casual throughout the entire trip. There weren't any formal nights or requirements on this cruise, which made things a lot easier. Now let's get into what I brought that I was grateful that I had and what you should pack. Have at least 3 bathing suits. You're going to want to alternate, and there are days when you have more than one water excursion and your suit from the morning probably won't be dry in time for the afternoon excursion. Cover up. You don't need one coming back from the excursions per se, but if you go into one of the hot tubs on the ship or after coming back from the beach, it's just helpful to have at least one. I really like this one from Coolie Bar, which has UPF protection in it, or this one from Somersault. And I rotated wearing this for a day excursion and for meals on the ship because it was just easy. And now speaking of UPF clothing, I brought as much as I have. This hat, shirt, cover up, they all have UPF. Sun protection is so important, especially when you're at the equator. Now speaking of hats, I only brought this bucket hat. And I wish I brought a baseball cap with me too. So I borrowed this one to wear because I was tired of wearing my hair low and I wanted to wear it up in a ponytail. So depending on your hairstyle, just keep this in mind. Let's talk shoes. Now I had a pair of fashion sneakers for the plane trips and for exploring Quito. And then I brought 3 pairs of Tevas with me, and boy am I glad I had all 3. Here's why. This is their Voya Celesa. This was perfect to slide on in between excursions when I was lounging on the ship and just to wear to lunch and dinner. This is their Hydratech, and I wore this sandal on snorkeling excursions and on any wet landings when a hiking was not involved afterwards. Because for the wet and dry landings, their Outflow CT was so necessary. This shoe is waterproof, and there are days when you have a wet landing to go on a walk afterwards, and I liked how your toes are covered and protected for the walks. For hiking, it's important to have zip-off cargo pants. I let my New Yorker mindset get the best of me, and I got mine in black, which, don't make my mistake, get them in a khaki or light color. Also, I wish I would have sized up in mine and they were a bit of a looser fit, because having loose fitting clothing when you're sweating and being so active is really important on this trip. But it was so helpful to be able to turn them into shorts as the day went on and it got hotter. Let's talk undergarments. I only ever wore a regular bra to dinner. Every day I wore a sports bra or a bathing suit top that I would be comfortable in all day and that I could sweat in. There is no reason to wear your nice bras when you were going on these excursions. Now, this is the one big clothing mistake that I made. I did not bring enough clothes to wear and lounge in on the ship in between excursions. My itinerary for the most part would have an excursion in the morning, Then we'd come back to the ship for lunch with time to relax before heading out for the next excursion in the afternoon. I did not pack clothes for this in-between period of time on the ship. So bring a pair of shorts and maybe a few tank tops or shirts for this time frame. I pretty much ended up just wearing a bathing suit and a cover-up, but there were really some days that I just wanted a t-shirt and shorts, so do better than me. Now let's get into the items beyond clothing. Don't bother bringing any jewelry. All I brought was my watch, and I honestly didn't even bother putting it back on for dinner on the ship. It's obviously up to you, but it was just easier to leave everything at home, even my everyday nice jewelry. This is a judgment-free channel, so I am sharing with you that I honestly forgot to bring deodorant on this trip, but I think it was kind of for the best. You want to avoid scents at all costs, so definitely no perfume. Between the sunscreen and the bug spray, that was enough. But if you do bring deodorant, make sure it doesn't have a powerful scent because you do not want to be eaten alive. So bring the bug spray. Some islands were buggier than others, so make sure you have repellent with you. I also had these bracelets and forgot to bring them, so if you want, I'd bring these and spray. Do not bother with regular Band-Aids. Bring Compeeds. The back of my heels are always very sensitive, especially to new shoes, and these Band-Aids are thicker than the regular ones, which I think is what helps make them last for days. They also seem to be waterproof, but beyond that, if you get a blister and then you put one of these on, they help heal the blister. So these are great, and I've been using them for years. Highly recommend. Here's something I wish I had: magnetic hooks. I learned on this trip that most cruise staterooms are magnetic, so purchasing these magnetic hooks would have been really helpful to hang clothes up because there were not enough places to hang clothing. Even if you don't go out on a water excursion, your clothes will come back wet from just sweat, and you're gonna want to air them out before putting them in the laundry bag, so get these hooks. And the final item that I brought on my trip to the Galapagos and was asked the most about on my trip was my waterproof phone case that I got from Aquatech. I am so glad that I had this. It was not only perfect for the snorkeling aspect, but it helped on the tender rides when I could stick my hand in the water to get shots like this of a sea turtle. And as long as the water quality was good, my videos came out great. I preferred to keep it in video mode the entire time and just take screenshots from the videos to make memories like these ones. But whatever you do, make sure you have some sort of waterproof camera or case because you will not want to miss out on capturing these moments. Well, there you have it. I hope this helps you plan and pack for your trip to the Galapagos Islands. Regardless if you have all of these items or not, you are going to have an absolutely wonderful time, and this is truly a trip of a lifetime. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them below. So until next time, I'm Allison Berger, and don't forget, I'm FunSized.